8 people were sitting in my living room when I got home from work, my sister holding tissues, my parents standing near the fireplace, my pastor present, and printed photographs of me asleep at my desk, spread across the coffee table beside a page titled Intervention Plan. My name is Imani Brooks. I was 39, the founder of Sweet Harbor, a bakery I had built from a single rented kitchen into 3 profitable locations, and I thought this room full of people who loved me was worried about my health. Before I tell you what the real plan actually was, drop a comment and let me know where you are watching this from tonight. My best friend of 16 years, Sasha, stood up first and said they were here because the business was destroying me. An hour later, I learned the actual proposal was for me to sell Sweet Harbor to her for less than 1/3 of its real value. Stay with me, because the moment I discovered how long Sasha had been quietly engineering this exact evening is the moment 16 years of friendship turned into something I am still struggling to fully name. Sasha had been beside me since the very beginning, designing my first logo for free, painting the original shop walls, working weekend markets before I could afford real staff. 6 months before that intervention, she began gently suggesting I step back, reasonable advice at first, hire an operations director, take a real vacation. I agreed and hired a manager named Victor. Then she offered to invest $100,000 for 40% ownership of a company independently valued near $2 million. I declined, and she laughed it off as friendship making formal numbers feel cold. After that, small problems multiplied constantly. Victor questioned my decisions publicly in front of staff. Vendor orders changed without my approval. 2 experienced employees quietly resigned, saying leadership had become confusing. Sasha always appeared immediately afterward with a convenient solution, quietly telling my family I seemed overwhelmed the entire time. At the intervention itself, she presented a full transition proposal, buying Sweet Harbor for $600,000 while keeping me on as a paid creative consultant, the offer expiring within 48 hours. When I asked my parents whether they knew this was actually a sales meeting, my father admitted he only understood the business needed immediate leadership. One employee, Nina, cried and revealed Victor had told staff the company was nearly insolvent and payroll might fail entirely unless Sasha took over. Sweet Harbor was never insolvent. I stood up, opened the front door, and asked everyone to leave. Sasha stayed behind and told me quietly that I was proving her exact point, that I could not accept help without turning it into a threat, then added there might not be a business left by the time I understood what had happened. That sentence sounded far less like concern and much more like a promise. Here is something I would genuinely love your opinion on in the comments. If someone who truly helped build your success later tried to use a manufactured crisis to take it away from you, would that history of real early sacrifice make the betrayal feel more forgivable to you, or does it actually make it worse? The next morning, my accountant Jerome confirmed Sweet Harbor was profitable, cash tight only from real repair costs, and still owned valuable equipment, recipes, and lease rights worth far more than Sasha's offer. He also found unauthorized data downloads from Victor's login, exporting payroll, vendor contracts, and customer information. I called Victor in, he refused an audit and resigned on the spot that same afternoon. I hired an attorney named Alina Cruz and a cybersecurity firm. The recovered emails between Victor and Sasha discussed deliberately creating operational pressure to make me more open to selling, including delaying supply orders, overstating repair costs, and encouraging staff and family to question my mental state. One email from Sasha read that family was ready, that the church angle gave things moral weight, and that I would not want to look unstable in front of everyone I loved. 16 years of friendship had taught her precisely which pressure points would work. Additional records showed Sasha had already drafted a company rebrand, contacted my landlord directly, prepared executive announcements, and registered a website called Sweet Harbor Collective, all months before that intervention ever happened. Victor had also created a hidden administrator account in our scheduling system, deliberately understaffing mornings to make me appear disorganized, then quietly reporting inflated labor costs straight to Sasha as evidence. During mediation, Sasha finally admitted she had grown resentful watching Sweet Harbor succeed while her own consulting business struggled, feeling she deserved more credit for helping me build it in the beginning. She said she believed that if I truly understood how close everything was to falling apart, I would eventually make what she called a rational decision. I told her she had deliberately made things fall apart specifically, so I would choose her instead. She did not deny it. Victor settled first, admitting he shared confidential data and interfered with orders in exchange for a promised executive position after the eventual sale. Sasha fought longer before ultimately settling too, paying damages, surrendering all copied data, transferring the website domain, and agreeing to stay away from my employees and vendors for several years. Our friendship ended quietly, without any final dramatic scene. I blocked her number after mediation concluded and never spoke with her privately again. My family needed real time to repair their own relationship with me. My sister admitted she photographed me sleeping only because Sasha said a visual would finally break through my denial, never once considering how that same image might later appear inside a purchase negotiation. Sweet Harbor fully recovered. 2 years later, we opened a fourth location, not to prove any particular point, but simply because the numbers and the team were genuinely ready this time. I finally took the vacation everyone had originally pushed me toward, 6 full days near the ocean without checking daily sales, proving to myself that real systems, not surrendered ownership, were what actually protected the business all along. Concern is never the same thing as ownership. Friendship does not automatically become equity. And helping someone build a dream in the beginning does not give you the right to later manufacture a crisis and purchase that same dream at a steep discount. If this story stayed with you, subscribe to Unheard Drama Stories and let me know in the comments where you are watching from, along with whether you think Sasha ever actually believed she was helping or knew exactly what she was doing the entire time.